Okay, so we'll get started, guys. This is going to be a low intensity session. Pretty easy, but depends on, I suppose, your mobility or flexibility levels. Everyone, regardless of, I suppose, level of athlete or how much of this kind of work you do, people will have different areas that are stiff and tight. People will find different things really easy, different things really difficult. But just work within your comfort zone, push yourself a little bit, but not too much. If you have been told specifically not to do any specific stretch or mobility things, for some things like a tendinopathy, actually overstretching things can irritate things. So if that's the case for anything, just don't do whatever one we're on at that time, okay? So it'll be nice and easy. We'll take everything nice and slow. If anyone is going for a run straight after this or soon after this, you can do the stretching bit as, I suppose, more of a dynamic stretch. So you can go into the movement hold for 5 seconds and come back out and go in again. If you aren't running or have already run, and I suppose this is a bit of a cool down and a loosen out for you, then you can do it as more of a static stretch. You can hold 10 to 20 seconds, okay? And then if anyone really is looking to increase flexibility, but finds that static stretching isn't particularly for them, we can do some contract relax things, or there are different variations within even some of the stretches that we'll do, okay? So do whatever suits you and is comfortable for you. And again, as Matt said, any questions, just give us a shout. Okay, so we'll get started. So again, we'll start with some spinal stuff. So we'll all come onto all fours, and we're going to go through some cat and cows first to start with. So just loosening out through your lower back, mid back and neck, all the way down, and then going all the way back up. Holding a couple of seconds at either end of the movement. All the way down, and then all the way back up. We'll go through 5 of those. So that's 2. And that's 3. Nice and slow, and going as far as you can through your pelvis, lower back, mid back, and then up into your neck. And then going the opposite way. So again, pelvis, lower back, going up, upper back coming up, and neck. And last one. All the way down, and then all the way back up. Lovely. Relax now, and again, we'll bring hands forwards, stretching your bum all the way back to your heels, really relaxing your head down onto the ground, onto the mat. And hold that for 5 seconds and just breathe. Okay. Stay in that position. You're going to think about reaching your fingers forward as far as you can. And then again, coming bump all the way back to your heels. So just pushing that stretch just a little bit more. Again, breathing into it. Trying to keep your head as low as you can. And from there, we're going to come into that cobra. So pushing your body forward onto the ground. Hands by your shoulders and pushing your back up. Keeping your pelvis on the ground. If that's too much for you, you can come up just up onto your forearms. That's absolutely fine. We're going to get a nice stretch through there. Then we're going to come straight from that back onto your bum to heel stretch for a couple of seconds. Go forwards again. Again, up into that cobra. Holding for a couple of seconds at the top. And then again, from there, back into that stretch through your lower back. We'll do 2 more of those. So cobra all the way up. And then coming all the way back onto your heels. Okay. And then last one. Okay. We're going to start doing some mid-back rotations again. Slightly different to the last day for anyone who's on that call. So we're going to come onto all fours. You're going to do thread the knees if you've heard of that before. So you're going to reach down with this arm and down and across, and then back up. We're going to do 5 that side. Sometimes it's useful if you have a foam roller. Do the same thing with this. It just helps you get that a little bit further, a little bit more of a stretch. But either way is fine. So we'll go for 5 each side there. So reaching down and around, holding for a couple of seconds, and then back up. Stay 5 on the same side, and then we're going to swap sides. You should feel that through your mid-back, especially at the end. If you're finding it tough, you can sit back onto your heels a little bit. See if you can get it further. Good. And staying with some thoracic rotation, we're going to do some book open. So if you have a pillow for this, bit you can use it. So you're going to lie on your side, either side, legs bent up, and arms out in front of you together. Then you're going to rotate with your arms as far back as you can, and then back to the start position. So again, let's go for 5. You should feel that anywhere through your arm and your shoulder, but particularly through your mid-back. 3, 4, one more, and then we'll change sides. Okay. I'll change this way. So same thing, lying flat, legs bent up, arms in front, and then opening all the way. You might notice you have a slight difference between sides in terms of which one is easier, which one is harder. That's okay, that's totally normal. It's just potentially something for you to work on in the future. Nice and slow the movements, both ways. Good. We're going to use our chair for the next one. So we've done a couple of thoracic rotations there, or mid-back rotations. We're going to use the chair to do some extension. So working a little bit more than what we just did on that Cobra one. So bring the chair in front of you. I'll give you a second to let this get set up. But what you're doing with this one is ideally elbows through here. Your legs are a little bit further back, and you're thinking about bringing your upper back down, and your chest as close to the floor as you can. And you should really feel that through here. Okay. So we'll go for 5 or 6 of those if you can, but go nice and slow, hold it at the end, only push yourself as far as you're comfortable. Okay. So we'll go nice and slow with this in case anyone has time to take time to set up their chair. So with elbows at the edge, if you're not comfortable with that, you can have arms fully out, whatever way you're comfortable. But you need to be feeling it, dropping your chest to the floor, holding a couple of seconds, and then back off. And you need to be feeling it through here. Okay. Do a few more of those. Good. You can take a break between each if you're finding that difficult. Okay. One more. Lovely. Okay, perfect. You can leave chair there, or we can push it back, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, everyone doing okay so far? All right, we're gonna do a little bit of shoulder stuff then now, if we're all okay through lower backs, through mid backs, and we'll do a little bit more on the floor before we get into our hip stuff. Okay, so let's bring this up a small bit. For some of the shoulder stuff, we're gonna start with easy things. So go through arm across your chest and pulling that shoulder arm around to you. You should feel a stretch again all the way through here and through that back of that shoulder blade. So just a couple of seconds of hold it there. Nice and easy. And we're going to swap over to the opposite side. And we'll just do 2 or 3 of those. We're going to come into a lat stretch now in a second. I use the wall or the wardrobes behind me. It depends on how flexible you are. I find that stretches me more than enough, but I'm a little bit tight in my lats. So you can, again, do a variation if you need it in a second. Okay, so lovely. So this one is a lat stretch. So you're trying to stretch from here right the way up. What I found is that if I use the wall or something in a lunge position, I get quite a good stretch. So if you come to the wall through here, arm up in front of you and lean all the way over. I get a really good So you're trying to stretch from here all the way down. You can play around with which leg you have forwards, but for that, I don't get any stretch here. On this one, if I really lean into the wall, and then this arm is reaching this way, but I'm reaching my body to the left. And then we're going to swap over. So my knee is right at the wall. This arm comes up and all the way over, and then I lean my body to the side that way. I get a really nice stretch down through here. Again, you can hold that statically, or you can come in and out of the stretch, whatever is most comfortable for you. Okay, good. Okay, next one is a couple of wall angels. You can do this whatever way you're comfortable. I would normally try and get lower back flat against the wall, so if you need to come into a little bit of a squat, that's fine. Then you're coming from there, bringing arms up to around 90, trying to keep your back pressed to the wall all the time, and then you're gently reaching up and down. If you have way better shoulders than I do, you can come all the way up to overhead and hold there, but you're trying to not let those arms come away from the wall, or your back lift off the wall. So for me, reaching up through here, will actually work quite a bit through back of the shoulders for me. I'm going to hold for about 5 seconds each side and come back down to relaxed position. And then again. So as I say, with any of these, you want to be feeling like you're working a little bit harder than you're comfortable, but nothing should be sore or painful. We'll do one more. Good. And for me, that's what I find the hardest. So if you want to just shake out a little bit after all that, then do. Okay, good. We'll come back onto the floor and we'll go through a couple more lower back things, and then into some hip and hamstring stretches. Okay. So again, let's go along on our backs. If you want, I'm going to have to move this there. Yeah. If you want to use your pillow again, then do. You're going to come up onto your back, pillow under your head, and your body is relaxed. We're just going to do some easy rotations, so active rotations through your lower back. So your rotating legs are going with you side to side. Go for 5 each side, so 10 in total. Arms wherever you're comfortable, so that you can maintain a good position. Okay, 2 more. Good. And we're going to stay in this position. We're going to straighten one leg down, cross the opposite leg up and over, using the opposite arm to bring it down to the side. So you're going to go as far as you can there. This time it's okay for your upper back to move. Then we're going to swap sides and go again across the opposite side. A nice bit of a stretch. But again, we're using it more as mobilization than a stretch, because we're going from one into the other. If you have cracks just like that in your back, absolutely fine. But you shouldn't be pushing. You don't need to push until you get some more. Okay, again, let's go one more each side. Good. And again, if you have differences in mobility side to side, that's relatively normal. But again, something potentially to work on. Okay, so that's a little bit of lower back stuff. We'll work into some hip flexibility now. Normally, if I was doing this in a group or on a track, I would do some band distraction stuff first, but that's quite difficult to do in your own house. So we'll go straight into some of the mobility stuff. So we'll go into one leg up and the other leg the opposite way. And then again, we'll go into some of those 90-90s. You're going to go from here, so staying up as tall as you can, and you're going to rotate from side to side. Try to keep your bum on the ground as you're doing it, and staying up nice and tall. Again, if people have really stiff hips and are only getting to here, that's fine. If you want to, you can bring the legs further away and see if it's easier or harder. It will just challenge tissues in different ways. Good. We'll do a bit of mobility stuff done through those hips. We'll go into some stretches. So we'll go into a fidget stretch. So where you're going to have one leg in front of you and the opposite leg nice and relatively straight behind you. If that's enough to stretch the spine, if not, you can lean forwards and into it. And again, this is where if you've already ran, you can hold up for about 20 seconds. If not, you can back off out of it every 5 or 6 seconds and then back into it a little bit again. We should be feeling that on the opposite hip, or the hip of the leg that you have in front of you. And again, we're just going to relax and try and breathe into that. Good, when we've done that, and you're happy that you've relaxed out a little bit, we're going to just swap legs. So again, same thing, opposite side. One leg up in front of you. You can vary what angle you have this leg at. So now we're just leaning forward. It looks to me like that side is a little tighter for me. And then again, either backing off and coming back into it, or just nice and relaxed breathing, holding it and letting your body relax into the stretch as much as you can. Lovely. Again, once you've had enough of the stretch through there, we're going to come in. So because we stretch the outside of the hips, we're going to do the opposite. So into adductors. We can do adductors in a couple of different ways. One where we're inserting through here. So again, you're sitting up tall, feet are together if you can, and you're gently pressing down with your elbows. Again, if you're really in close here, it'll be a little bit more difficult. So if you're finding it tough, you can bring the leg a little bit further away. You're just trying to press down. So again, you can hold, or you can come into the stretch and back off and go in a little bit further. And again. But remember to breathe, because we are supposed to be trying to relax into some of these stretches. Good. As I say, play around with how close or far away you have your feet. See if we can get those adductors right stretched through different angles. If you prefer, you could do the one in standing where you're going side to side, but I don't mind, whichever you're more comfortable with. Okay. We're going to come into some hamstring stretches now, so we'll go lying on your back. If you have a band or a rope or a yoga strap, we'll use it here. So here's where I'll show you, again, some variations of the stretches where we will either do static hold, you can come in and out of it, or we'll show you some contract relax if you have a decent band to work with. So I don't mind really if you have the other leg bent up or not, but make sure you're comfortable on the floor. We are going to hold it for 20 seconds. So the thing with hamstring stretch, to stretch the muscle belly, we're going to come in, so you're going to have your leg close to your chest. Then you're going to use, trying to keep toes relaxed, but then you're going to use the band and your arms to straighten out that leg. But don't let this leg come all the way away from your chest. It'll come away a little, but it shouldn't be too much at all. And you should feel that stretch to the center of your hamstring. So here's where we can either hold and hold for 20 seconds, or more if you're comfortable. That little fasciculation or shaking on my leg means that I'm stretching right to that end limit of my range at the moment. So what we can do from here, as I say, if some people maybe don't respond super well to static stretching, is to do a bit of contract relax, which means come all the way in, stretch, and then from there you're pushing the band away. So we're trying to push that heel away this way, so we're contracting the hamstring. Just go for about 6 seconds, relax, come back in. You should find that you'll stretch a little bit further then. So you can go for 3 of those in a row, is more than enough. Good. So that's your bent knee hamstring stretch on one leg. I'm going to swap over And do the same on the opposite side when you're ready. Okay, so again, this leg bent up. I'll show you the contract relax fully this time. So you're going up through here. Feel a stretch on this hamstring already. And we're going to push that leg away. Contracting that hamstring for 5 or 6 seconds. Relax. And then come back into more of a stretch. We're going to hold that for again 6 to 10 seconds. And then from there, you're going to try and push gently into the band. So you're not pushing as hard as you can, it's just contracting the muscle a little bit, so that when you actually relax it, you'll just get that little bit further. Okay. From there, we will do some straight hamstring stretches. The reason I do the bent ones first is because that's hamstring muscle belly. When we bring in the knee straight, you bring in the nerves at the back of the leg, okay? So it's not necessarily wrong, but if you want to particularly increase hamstring flexibility, it's useful to do the bent knee one first. So again, this leg can stay down or up, whichever keeps your pelvis in neutral. This leg's going to stay straight, my toes are going to be relaxed. If I put my toes up, I'll put more of a neural stretch through the back of that leg, so keep the foot relaxed. And you're going to come up as far as you're comfortable, or you're going to hold there. Again, I don't particularly like static stretching, so I'm more comfortable coming in and out of a stretch. So working hard through there. And then backing off a little bit. And again. If you want to make that a nerve stretch or neural glide, I'll show you that on the opposite side. The thing you need to remember is if you are going to do nerve glides, nerves like being moved, they don't like being stretched. So if you are doing it, you should feel tension back of the leg and then back off straight away. So if my toes are up this way, I'll put more tension on, and as soon as I feel that tension, I need to back off and relax that leg. So I'm more using this on the left side now as a flossing that nerve, so your sciatic nerve in the back of the leg, rather than a hamstring stretch. Okay, so I'm showing you that for now, in case you want to add it to something later, or you're doing things yourself. But the big thing I would say with that is you need to be careful how long you're holding it. So any neural stretch needs to be 1 second only. Okay. For now, we can do that as a normal hamstring stretch, so you're equal right and left. If we come up into sitting, we do the same thing. So again, we can have a hamstring stretch and a neural stretch combined. We're reaching forward through here. Again, coming back up. The more you bring your head down, the more of a neural stretch you'll feel down through the backs of both legs. You can do the single leg in through here, or we can do a double leg, whichever you're more comfortable with. I'll do single leg and both of them on. But whatever we're comfortable with, every variation. Okay. So if you feel you've done enough there through hamstrings, again, similar to glutes and adductors, because we've done the back of that thigh, we want to do the front, so we want to do quads. We can use the chair again. I don't know if this chair is going to be too hard for me. We'll do a little bit of a couch stretch. If you want, you have your pillow here, you can. But essentially, we're coming in through here into a bit of a lunge and trying to relax into that. You should feel, and we're trying to be relatively neutral through here, which the more you work through there, the more you get into that anterior tilt, the more you'll feel that stretch through the front. So we're going to hold that for about 10-15 seconds. If you don't have a chair with you, that's absolutely fine. I'll swap over and I'll show you how we'll just do it as a normal lunge stretch, where you're going to use your arm to bring that leg back up behind you. So similar, okay? So you don't have to have the chair. It just makes it a little bit easier. Good. Oh, thanks, Matt. Okay, so once we've done that, we'll do a quad stretch. Again, you could do this in standing by all means if you want to. I prefer to do it in line so I can see how well I'm doing it or not. You're bending up one leg through here, opposite leg behind you. So again, it's your heel to your bum. I hold at the ankle rather than at my toes. And the main thing with this, the reason I like to do it in this position is that I can see if I'm tight through my outer quads and I'm up here, I'm not actually stretching the outside of my quad. So if you bring that down and then pull back, you should feel a stretch right the way through here. So again, we're going to hold that for 10 or 15 seconds. And again, we'll try to relax the breathing. Breathe into it, relax your whole body, and that stretch should get easier as you go. If you find by the end of it that it gets very easy, you can just pull a little bit further back, but again, make sure that that knee doesn't start lifting up now to the side. As I say, if you're more comfortable doing it as your usual stretch and standing, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to swap over, do the same thing on the other side. I have a tendency to hold this here. It's just habit for me. So body relaxed, you're holding at the ankle, pulling a little bit further back, relaxing that arm into, relaxing your head, and just breathing into it. Stretch through the front of that thigh. And again, if we're comfortable, we can go a little bit further back towards the end. Stretch just a little bit. Lovely. Okay, and relax. Okay, we've done quite a bit through thighs and hips. We'll do a little bit through lower leg, because again, that's really important for runners. We'll do some calf stretches to start with, and then we'll do some knee to wall mobilizations. Some of you can do some stretching through the front here. I'll show you that as well. And then we're going to go into some combined movements, so combining a few of the things together. It's a little bit more interesting. But okay, so I presume everyone knows what a calf stretch is. And we're going to go one foot in front of the other. Keeping our feet facing forwards, keeping the back heel on the ground. Don't mind what you do with this one, to be honest. You're leaning into that wall to get a little bit of a stretch through here. And you're going to swap over to the opposite side. Thanks, Matt. So we're going to do that on both sides. So both legs up in the back leg to get a little bit of a stretch. Good. We're going to, when we've done that, we're going to do some bent knees. So coming a little bit closer to the wall. Again, heel of the back leg stays on the ground. And we're just bending the back knee so you feel the stretch a little bit lower. If we weren't doing this in a group, you could also do this over the bottom step of the stairs. Again, you can do the same thing where you have one leg, your knee straight, and then another stretch where you have your knee bent on the bottom step of the stairs. So you get that little bit into extra dorsiflexion. Okay. Once you've done a couple of stretches there, both sides, we're going to come into a knee to wall as a mobilization. So I'm going to do it back here, so to show you. It's this time, it's front foot. Don't mind what you do with the back foot. The heel of the front foot has to stay on the ground. You're bending that knee in to touch the wall, coming back up. So again, we've done the stretches. This is more mobilizing that ankle. I do it here. So back leg can do whatever it wants. Heel of the front foot stays on the ground. If you've started in nice and close, then move a little bit further back. We'll keep that heel on the ground. And your hips need to stay square. There's no hip twisting there. Even if we go for 4 or 5 there. And then if we swap over. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. So then if we're going to do a little bit of of work through the front of the ankles. I don't need to do this because it's the one area where I am actually flexible. You can just sit onto your feet and then lean back through here. So we're stretching through the front here. I don't feel that stretch because as I say, that's where I am actually flexible in my ankles. So I would have to do a stretch this way, where I'm stretching down through toes. But to be honest, this is one I don't normally do again because, as I say, it's the one thing I need to work more on the calves and the back of the ankle rather than the front. Okay. Okay. While we've done that, we're going to do a few things where we're just going to do a little bit more movement and try and put some of that mobility stuff together. Okay. I'm going to move my chair out of the way. So these are a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more interesting, but you might need a bit more room. If you want to have runners on for this part, you can. Okay, so we'll do one where we're going to do one. Matt had said to me that it's upgraded to unlimited time or something. But let's see. We'll just go with it and see. Okay, so the first one of these is an inchworm. Okay, so you're going to start up here. Going to come all the way down through here, bringing your arms forwards, all the way down to this, and we're going to come all the way back up. Okay, so we're combining a few things. We're going to stretch down through hamstrings, back to the leg side nerve, come forward, coming down into your cobra, into a back extension, and then back up the opposite way. So we'll go for 5 of those. That's 3, we'll do 2 more. And if it cuts off and I was completely wrong about that, Matt, I apologize. Let's just keep going. Okay, these are called different things by different people. We're going to come into either a bear crawl or a called different things in sauna. So you're going to come up, or we have one leg up through here, and I'm going to come back up where you're bringing one leg up to your arms and back. So the further your arms are ahead of you, the harder it is. Then go to there. Do the same thing, and the next time we're going to bring in some thoracic rotation. Okay, so back to here, all the way up to here. This time we're going to move the arm that you've reached to, rotate around, and back down. We're going to swap over to the opposite side. Again, releasing that arm this time, rotating around this way, and back down. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more of those. So again, one each side, all the way up to that arm. Bring that arm up and out and around, and back down. Last one then on this side, rotating all the way up and around, and back down. So we're just trying to use a couple of movements where we bring all of that mobility together, because that's what's important when we're running. These ones, as I'm a bit out of breath, are again combined movements, but they're a little bit easier. So we'll end with a more relaxed vibe to it. They're called Breathsol and Breathsol 2.0. I'm actually going to show you the second one first because I think it's easier. Basically, we're combining leg stretches with some, again, thoracic mobility. Okay, so we're going to start with one leg in front of the other. So again, like that stretch we did earlier. Then you're going to come down to the side here. And we're trying to get your forearms onto the ground, or onto the mat. And this needs to be done over time and relaxed. So you're relaxing and breathing into it. As you find you can get into that position, okay, you're going to bring the arms a bit further back without the legs moving too much. And you should feel that more through here, through your mid back. What we're going to do is relax and breathe into that again. So nice deep breaths and relax. And then what we're going to try and do is keeping forearms down. You're trying to rotate your body away that way. We're going to hold for another 10 seconds and see how far around you can get by the end of it. Lovely. We're going to try the same thing on the opposite side, and then we'll do the last one on sideline, which is complex but easy and relaxing. Okay, so swapping legs. Again, we're going to try and bring forearms down. If you find that difficult, start up through here, and over the time that you're breathing into it, work all the way down. So forearms down if you can. And hold through there. Try and think about where you're feeling that tension, and try and relax and breathe into it. And as you relax, see if you can go a little bit further around with the arms and then around with your upper body. So reaching back. Another 5 seconds. Now we'll come into the very last. Lovely. Yes, we'll come back out of that, and the very last thing, if you have a pillow, use it. If you have 2 pillows, you might want both of them. So it's similar to the quad stretch we did earlier. You're going to lie on your side, except this time, so pillow under here. This time you're going to bring the top leg across. So if you wanted to have another pillow here so that this is up, you can. And we're going to do a little quad stretch essentially with the back leg. So then you're holding around that instep through here, keeping that leg on the floor, holding up through here. And the aim of this is to bring this shoulder down as far as you can that way by rotating through your back. So while you're stretching that quad, we're stretching the upper body the opposite way. It'll feel pretty tough for a lot of people to start with, but again, if you breathe into it and try to relax, get that shoulder down, but keep that tension through that leg the whole time. I'll say it's easier if you're up through here because you can rotate back here. So if you wanted to start with the pillow or a yoga mat or a block through there, that's absolutely fine. If we don't have it, we'll keep them on the ground. Go for another 10 seconds through there. And each time you're trying to rotate a little bit more as you take a breath, trying to get that shoulder down to the ground. One more breath. All the way out and see how far you can go. Lovely. Okay, last thing. We're going to do that same thing on the opposite side. So I'm just going to switch my pillow this way so you can again see. I'll show you what it's like actually if I have this roll here. So again, you're going to bring the bottom leg down. Top leg can come up and across, and this is where it will be easier now for me because that is off the ground. And I'll hold this back here through a quad stretch, and I'm going to try and face my head and upper body towards the ceiling. So I feel a stretch in the bottom leg, but I'm trying to reach my top shoulder down towards the ground. So again, nice deep breaths. I'm trying to relax into it. Stretching a little bit further each time. Breath in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Keeping the tension through the leg, lengthening through your upper body, trying to reach that shoulder down towards the ground. With 2 more deep breaths. Last one. See how far down you can reach and how far we can rotate. And then nice and slowly we'll come back up out of that. If you want to do some side to sides or anything shaking out through there, you can. Okay. That's loads. Yeah, we didn't get cut off.